Hi everyone, my name is Randolph Zhao, an undergraduate student who comes from Case Western Reserve University in the United States. Today, I want to introduce my paper, RoboTutor Predictions of Students' Answer Type. First, let me introduce the background. My paper is based on the RoboTutor program. RoboTutor is an open source application of the intelligent tutor, a system that can teach students basic literacy and numeracy, and has been used for multiple languages. In this paper, we are focusing on data in the Swahili language. Basically, the engine of the RoboTutor adapts for Swahili, and it generates 4 choice questions to test students with the comprehension of the Swahili stories. As the example shown below, there are 3 kinds of distractors: nonsensical, plausible, and ungrammatical. Students are required to choose the correct answer among 4 choices by understanding the context and the word of choices. The purpose of our research is to predict the answer type among 4 choices based on the student's past performance and the difficulty of the question. This is very important because it is a pre-step to maximize learning. If we can predict the answer type, we can control or adjust question difficulty for each student. We also can research the performance features to figure out what is the shortage of each student. Our research uses 3 sources of materials: the transaction of the RoboTutor application, information about the question of each sentence in the stories, and the story word statistics. Based on these materials, we get 14 features. From the transaction of the RoboTutor application, we extract or calculate the time that students spend on choosing an answer, the number of attempts, the correct rate of all attempts on one question, and the probability of picking the right choice by using the item response theory with 3 difficulty calculation methods. From the information about the 79 Swahili stories, we extract the length of the right word, story length, sentence length, and the position of the sentence in the story. The position of the sentence is represented by how many sentences precede the question sentence. From the story word statistics, we extract the word level of both right word and the max mean average of 3 distractors. Let me explain more about the item response theory, or IRT. It is known as latent response theory. Its purpose is to estimate the probability that students could pick the correct choice. In our research, we use 3rd parameter IRT model, which is shown as below. It includes 4 variables: discrimination, difficulty, student ability, and procedural guessing. To simplify our research, we use 0.5 for the discrimination and student ability. Since there are 4 choices, the procedural guessing should be 0.25. For difficulties, we propose 3 kinds of calculation methods. The first one calculates as 1 minus the accuracy rate of all attempts. The second one calculates as 1 minus the accuracy rate of the first i's attempts and multiplies them together. The third one calculates as 1 minus the accuracy rate of the first attempt. Since we will implement feature selections, putting several IRT scores with different difficulty methods will be more helpful. Our research approach is first data processing and analysis, and then build the machine learning models, such as the logistic regression and naive Bayes. Both are linear models because we have limited training data. So linear model is more suitable. We use tenfold cross validation based on the students, which means a fold contains 29 students, which guarantees the stability of the accuracy measure. Then we compare the models and choose the better one to first improve it. For the model comparison, we can see that the logistic regression model gets much higher performance than naive Bayes in all max, average, and mean tenfolds cross-validation accuracy. Thus, in the following experiments, we use the logistic regression model as our default model to improve it. For the preprocessing, since we are using the logistic regression model, which is sensitive to the scale of features. As we can see on the left hand, the range of the attempts is 1 to 11, but the range of the duration, which is the span, the time that students spend on a question, is 0 to 600, which is not the same scale. So we need to do standardizations and normalizations. In our research, we implement max mean normalization and z-score standardization. And the result shows the performance improved from the 0.6717 to 0.7198. For the model improvement, we try to adjust the class weight and sample weight. We can see that the majority class, the correct class, is much larger than the other 3 classes, which means adjusting class weight may be helpful. We suppose that students should solve the problems in 5 minutes because it's just a 4-choice question. But we can see that several students spend 0 seconds or more than 5 minutes, which is 300 seconds, to solve the problems. Since there are 4 choices, students should choose the correct answer in 4 attempts. But we can see that some students spending more than 4 attempts. Thus, we set this unhelpful attempt with lower weight as 0.2, and let the model automatically adjust the class weight, as the right hand shows. We got the correct class has the weight like 6, and the nonsensical class gets the weight as 1. Such like that. On left hand, here's the result. We can see the model improved from 0.7130 to 0.72103. For the feature selection, we can see that there are 2 most influential features: the number of attempts and NRT with difficulty method 1. The other features are not very effective to improve the performance of the logistic regression model, but they do help to improve the mean accuracy, which improves the robustness of our model. For the training size, we record the average cross-validation accuracy with the step with 1000, and we can see that the max average accuracy appears as the training size equals 8,514, and then starts to decrease. One potential explanation is that it is the result of overfitting because our data is relatively small, and our data set also contains the misleading or contradicted information that we did not clean out. Finally, for our final model of the logistic regression model, we reached the max of 0.746, the average of 0.723, and the mean of 0.692. Compared to letting the model choosing randomly, which we got 0.25, and always choosing the majority class, which we got 0.57665, our model reaches a much higher performance. Thus, since we successfully achieved 0.723 on average accuracy, of predicting students' answer type, we can say our model can be used to further control the difficulty level of each question and reach the desirable difficulty to maximize students' learning. It also can be used to analyze the effective factors that cause students to choose one kind of choice. Based on our findings, we think there is more work we can do. For example, we can implement deeper data cleaning. For example, if we can detect whether the student really focuses on the question instead of choosing randomly, we can clean out them and let the model focus on the rest useful information. We can also try to include more effective features, such as semantic analysis about the context of the sentence, which will provide more helpful information about the difficulty of the sentence or the context. Third, since we are trying to predict human decisions, which may have nonlinear decision boundaries, we want to collect more training data and try nonlinear machine learning models. That's all for today. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, you can send an email to ask me. See you next time.